My
Hello,
man,
hello.
my man, Calvin. Calvin, can you hear me? Check, check,
I
check.
can hear you, Joseph. How are you?
Just, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Maybe that stupid company should hire me. Ha! Imagine me being imagine this face being on national TV.
Dude, I honestly I would like it.
Did I tell you, Calvin, what I signed up for?
No.
Okay, so Men's Health Magazine and Men's Health Online,
Yeah.
they started a new Instagram page.
Okay.
In I think it's 10 days from now, maybe it's 9 days from now. I don't know. They are launching the legendary dad bod competition.
Oh my god.
And if you win, you get a 2-page spread in Men's Health Magazine and $25,000.
Okay. How do we vote for you?
The first round was all you had to submit pictures and dad jokes and just like stupid shit. And I submitted, I shouldn't say stupid shit in case they actually watch the show, but you know, it was like, how do you mow your lawn? How do you do this? How do you keep your dad bod a dad bod? Like stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I gave, of course, you know, perfection answers because
sure.
I'm a worldwide superstar, you know?
Yeah, right.
So I passed, and then I uploaded some even better dad pictures called Trina's dad, because I don't know if you guys know this. Trina's dad is the most handsome, like middle-aged dad I know that's not like rich and can afford like all the personal trainers and shit, you know? And Trina literally has a notepad in her phone, Calvin, that you can just scroll through for days. That's all the dad jokes her dad has made over time.
Oh my god, I love it though.
I had to submit a dad joke to get to round 2 of the competition. Do you want to know what the dad joke I submitted was?
Please tell me this dad joke.
Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Oh no.
And then I put asterisk finger gun emojis.
Oh, I love that.
Right? And it's applicable to whatever your sexual preference is.
But you'll have to let us know if there is a voting portion.
There is.
Before that, though, before we get to that, this is PexPals, the only Apex Legends podcast for the mediocre gamer. My name is CowVan, and I'm here with
JoelCupcake, your second favorite mediocre gamer, because we all know everybody loves Calvin better. So
we have a spicy show today. Okay, not spicy, but there's a lot of info because we got a whole new event coming out very soon. The Evolution Collection event. They dropped all the patch notes with a lot of information that we're gonna try to get through today. But first and foremost, wait, Joel, did you have something to say?
Oh, I have a lot of things to say, Calvin.
What do you have to say?
Per usual, I have way too much to say.
That's correct. First
and foremost, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I just want to give a shout out to my boy Danny Todd. I was just on his podcast, the Daniel Toddcast is what he calls it, I believe.
I like that.
He's a pretty famous music industry photographer. He tours with like Of Mice and Men and Beartooth and bands like that. So check that out. It's on all my social media accounts. I just reposted it everywhere.
The Daniel Toddcast.
But you know what? More important, Calvin. Okay, enough bullshit. On to Apex. Developers. I know at least one of you, maybe 3 of you listen to the show.
Okay.
And maybe 1 or 2 of your social media people listen to the show too. What the fuck? I don't like starting the show negative towards the devs. Where is our Wattson love, Calvin?
Hold on. We're not going to get into that. Joe. We have a regular cadence. We have a regular cadence and routine that we get into, because the very first thing I need to ask you, JoelCupcake, is what is your weapon of the week? Nope. Put your anger aside. We have to go through our regular cadence, Joel.
Okay, fine. My weapon of the week, it's a tie. In arenas, it's the RE45. For BR, it's the return of the great, the solid, the go-to of go-tos for JoelCupcake.
What is that?
The EVA 8.
The EVA 8. Okay, so 45 because it's on the cheap side in arenas, and then the EVA 8.
Well, honestly, the 45 is only there because I had one of those stupid weeklies that was do 25,000 or 2,500 damage with pistols in arenas.
Ooh.
It was worth 10 of those little lovely battle pass stars. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll do the RE. Luckily, the 2 days I did that challenge over, every team I placed had a motherfucking Bangalore. So it just worked out because you can get the digi threat. You know what I mean?
That. Yeah.
Dude, gun is just, especially if you see them first, they're probably going to die from the RE45. If you have a good team with you, like, the thing I keep telling people, and I've got an argument with some of our more qualified, I shouldn't say qualified, with our more skilled friends about the RE45, it's a sidearm. A sidearm is your secondary backup weapon. So all you have to do is a little bit of damage with your primary and switch to the RE and they're dead.
That's very true.
Yeah, I am sad because I didn't clip it. I know you're going to yell at me because I didn't clip it. But, we talk about on the show how, in my opinion, I think in our opinion, the RE45 is probably like the second or third most accurate hipfire gun in the game. Yeah. It used to be the most. I think the Prowler is more so now. I think it goes Prowler, RE45, Havoc.
I don't know about that, but continue.
The Prowler doesn't change the bullet spread in the two different, whether you're ADSing or not, remember?
Right. But as far as accuracy and reliability, that's a debate. But anyways, dude, we had this pesky Horizon in arenas that was always the last one alive on our team. I took her own grav lift up in the air, and I just looked her direction and just ripped her dead out of the sky from hip fire with the RE45 on her own grav lift. It was. I miss that gun, man. I miss it. And, I mentioned on the show before, my season 2 loadout. Season 2 is the best my KD has ever been. And my most common loadout that entire season was the RE45 and the fucking EVA 8. Yeah. That was it. That was done and done. But you know what? Enough about me. I'm surprised half the people still listen to me rant. Calvin, what is your weapon of the week? Weapon of the week. So it's been. I don't want to say it's been a rough week, but it's been rough in the sense that I cannot find anything that's not a Havoc. Like Havoc and L-Star are just everywhere, and I can't get away from them. Yeah. But when I did find something that I wanted to play with and have fun with, it was the Senti, and I think I have hacks on. Because I'm so good with either the iron sights or a 1x hollow on the Sentinel. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it. Even like 3 times, a 2-4, 4-8, doesn't matter what it is. I hit headshots and I don't understand it. And when I do it, it scares me. And I'm like, how did I do that? And it happens every time. Like every time I pick it up, I'm like, bam, headshot, 123, 105, all of these headshots just everywhere. And so the Senti is my weapon of the week. But we're gonna get into the biggest thing. And so first, before we get into your rant, we have to talk about why you're upset. So what was it, yesterday? 2 days ago?
No, it was yesterday, sir.
Yesterday, they announced the Evolution Collection event where Rampart is taking over. Rampart's getting a town takeover. Rampart's getting a huge buff. And she's also the latest legend that has been given an heirloom. And if you haven't seen it, go check out anywhere you look up Apex the Legends news. It is a monkey wrench.
It's actually It's actually a double item.
It's a double item.
It's a monkey wrench and it's a Pez dispenser. I don't know if you caught that.
I didn't. I don't think I did.
Okay. So if you watch the video, I watched a separate thing on the Apex page where they broke down her actual heirloom.
Okay.
So you know how Caustic has the funny thing where sometimes instead of the heirloom he pulls out a coffee cup and drinks coffee. Okay, so hers, she flips the wrench over and the bottom of it slides out. And I thought it was a paintball in the video. The thing she flicks out, it's
like a gum ball.
It's gum, and it flies in her mouth.
Hilarious! I didn't see that. I wasn't paying attention. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. The first time around, I was like, "Is that a paintball?" Like, because it's the new skins have all those colors and shit. But it's actually she is always like chewing bubblegum in all the comics and all the lore and stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So the very first thing that they want to talk about is Big Mod, which is a town takeover. And it looks like it's going to be near on World's Edge, located near Lava City. And it's all painted. There's like paintball splashes everywhere and graffiti, and it's nice and like neon colored. It's this really big area. And it looks like it's going to be from the pictures, Lava City just north of it in that little weird area right there.
So yeah, so they actually clarified in a tweet last night. One of the devs did. It's remember when you go past Lava City, there's the one building on its own with the elevator zip line.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally reaches from that all the way to the entrance of Geyser. Yeah, so like they said, it might have, the little dome by the jump tower.
Yeah,
that dome is gone in one of the angle pictures they showed. So it literally took that whole thing. So
interesting.
Yeah, so from everybody, if you've watched the show enough, I'm the lore guy and Calvin's the badass guy. And from what I understand from the lore perspective, enough of us gamers complained about the loss of the Mirage Voyage, the party yacht, as most of us referred to it. So Big Mod is actually like there's an area that's at like a giant pad with shipping containers.
Yeah. And
it's because Big Mod is actually Rampart's ship that she tried to land and it crashed into the outlands.
Oh.
And took everything out. So then she, they unloaded all the stuff. They brought her all the stuff to make her workshop, and there's all the shipping containers. So this area is actually much bigger than it looked in the video. Like from the tweet I saw them where they like zoomed out on it. It's like basically 2 new areas the size of like multiple buildings. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I've always liked Rampart.
So inside inside the building, the main building that's there, there's going to be a shop that you use collected materials to purchase Rampart's custom modded paintball weapons in the new Vendit machines. The guns cost a bit, but they come fully kitted at different tiers. And so if you run over there and you got enough of the currency, you can buy a modded weapon and probably just a version of like the R301 or whatever gun in the game. But it comes with paintballs so that when you shoot an area or anything, they get splattered in paint, which is pretty cool. And then so that's Big Mod. I'm big excited about that.
Mm-hmm, me too.
And then okay, so let's get into this because I know Joel really wants to talk about this. Rampart was announced to be the latest hero with a heirloom, and it's a monkey wrench, and she has gumballs in it. It looks pretty fucking cool.
And let's not forget the biggest thing that I took out of the update is you can now walk around with Sheila.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So the heirloom thing. So
now it's my turn.
Lately, the buzz around the rumors with the data leaks, stuff like that, is that it was supposed to be either Wattson or Crypto coming out with the next heirloom, according to all the leaks, right? Everyone was like, this is the data sword or whatever the hell, fencing joust, whatever the hell. And then all of a sudden we get bamboozled and it's a Rampart monkey wrench. Now Joel, you can speak on this.
Okay, we talked about her last week. What the fuck? Okay. Every time there's a map change, there's a lore change to go along with it. Who was the first person that had that map change and lore delivered with her? Wattson. Who was the first expansion character? Wattson. Mm-hmm. Who is, in accordance to the storyline, the most crucial character? Wattson, because her father is who created the Apex games, for those of you that don't pay attention to her voice lines and shit, which is completely fair because I know ever since that stupid Rain of Fire event, everyone has all the voice lines turned off because Mad Maggie drove us all completely insane.
Right.
Wattson was the second or the first, expansion legend. She's great. We talked last episode. She has the highest win rate. She has the highest win rate. Therefore, she should be, in my opinion, at the forefront of the game. Not the highest pick rate. She has the third lowest pick rate, actually. But she has the highest win rate, which means she has a very dedicated and loyal fan base of players.
Right.
Me being one of them. Wattson is my arenas main. You know this, Calvin.
Yeah.
And I've always been a fan of her, especially after we talked last episode. People have been calling for a buff, this, that, or some changes. They don't want to change her because her win rate's so high, but her pick rate is low. So the devs don't know what to do. Okay, you could at least give her a damn heirloom. Like, what is going on, dude? Like, she is like the golden child of Apex, in my opinion. You know, like do you want to talk about like a legend you have to be smart to use with the fences? Her ultimate can literally change the tide in an engagement if you have the high ground, you know, like she hard counters. I would say Gibraltar is easily the strongest ultimate in the game, other than like Rev if you know how to use it right, you know? So she hard counters that. She hard counters all the annoying shit in the game except Seer, which should also be changed, but that's a whole nother rant. You know, but where the fuck is her heirloom? Like, and even if you're not going to do her, at least do crypto, because like he was I believe right after her, you know, or at least give us a cool heirloom and do Loba. Fuck, dude, like Rampart should be the last fucking person. You know what I mean? Like, God damn it. That being said, Rampart's heirloom does look tight, and I am excited for the takeover.
So I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you. Not just because of like story or whatever the hell, but because I like to do things in order. And Wattson, according to like the legend layout, is next. So like, why not Wattson? Right? Yeah. We all love Wattson, or at least most of us do. Love Wattson, and like you said, she's a very respectable legend. And she's really good, but her pick rate is low. So why not give her an heirloom? I think they were too worried about pick rate because Rampart has always been picked low. Rampart has never made like the top 10, right? Rampart's always been low, and so they're like, well, what can we do to quickly and artificially bump Rampart's pick rate? And the easiest thing to do is to give her an heirloom, and so like you said, it was something that maybe could have been next, but like you said, Rampart or Wattson should have gotten the heirloom.
And I get it. Like Wattson, if you look at it from a lore perspective and from a technology perspective, her town takeover probably should be Kings Canyon or Olympus. Okay, so that I understand. But what the fuck? I'm still over. Anyways, okay. With this evolution event, Calvin, they announced a few other cool things. One is the paintball thing. I actually missed that. Yeah, I actually missed that. So I learned from you today. Holy shit! Wow. Okay, so that's a nod from the Halo community, which I love it. Let's full send that. They also announced a shit ton of skins. This is the first time I've noticed. It looks like they have a skin for every character. Most of the events don't do that.
So no, that's not necessarily true.
It looked like there was at least 9, right?
There's event limited skins, or legendary skins at least, for Wraith, Octane, Pathfinder, Fuse, Bangalore, Rampart, and Lifeline. And so that's 7. And so that must mean that they're getting exclusive legendary skins, and then everybody else is probably getting some type of epic skin or whatever the hell the tier under it is.
Yeah, the purple tier. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, Calvin, my only complaint with this is they look very Fortnite-y. Except for fuses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, my complaint with this is Wraith skin is clearly a Horizon skin. It is hands down a Horizon skin. Why not give that skin to Horizon? Why does Wraith get all the cool skins? Please stop giving cool skins to Wraith. I'm serious.
No, you're right.
Stop giving me Wraith skins. Stop giving me longbow skins. I've had enough. So they a lot of limited skins. Rampart's also taking over arenas. She's going to be offering modded weapons at special discounts. And then lower tiers are making lower tiers of that weapon more available. Yeah. Her deals frequently update, so as like the event goes on, the deals on the weapons are going to change. And then there's a new event, like evolution event specific skins, where after you complete the challenges, you're gonna get a couple of what are those called? The little things you put in your gun.
Charms.
You get a couple of charms. we're getting a lifeline skin in there, a triple take skin, and the final prize is the charm and a new wingman skin. Stop giving me wingman skins. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus. And then also they're going to continue doing the thing where they're going to have new skins to buy in the store, like special event skins to buy in the store, but also bringing back some older skins like they've been doing. Not just recolors, but older limited time skins. Like, for example, the teal or like turquoise colored Revenant skin, like Aztec Revenant skin, the old Hunter a Bloodhound skin, the really cool caustic like robot skin is coming back.
I'm so excited. You know I'm excited for that.
I know you're excited
but
about
also
that.
doing the all white like robot or like medieval Pathfinder skin.
Yeah, War Machine. That's in the store right now.
Oh, it is right now. Oh,
it's in right now. So if you want that, go get it. War Machine, the all white Pathfinder skin is in the store right now. Go buy it.
Yeah. They've been bringing back all the skins we want. That's what I like. They're not bringing back as many of like the ones.
In this patch, incoming with this patch, there's going to be a lot of balance changes. And like we were talking about, trying to make Rampart a more viable pick, artificially boost their numbers. They are giving Rampart a huge buff.
Huge.
And this is actually kind of cool. I would like to see it in practice. I like to see how it actually works. But Sheila, Rampart's minigun, her ultimate, is now mobile. And it's funny that you say that her paintballs were a nod to the Halo community, because a mobile minigun, that's also a nod to the Halo community. So Sheila's is now mobile. You'll be able to run with her out and shoot while walking. So you can run with her carrying it, but when you shoot, you're going to walk. So it's going to slow you down. The spin up is longer, so it takes longer to spin up as opposed to it being mounted. And you only get one magazine in this mode. And then once it's out, you can put it away and pull it back out. So like it's like a special weapon, right? Like it's like having a third weapon. So you're gonna have the R301, you're gonna have your R99, and then Sheila, if you play her or play with it, or you activate the ultimate, you can actually pull it out as a third weapon until it runs out. So or hit the cooldown time. So it's kind of like using a buff on like your Sentinel or your Rampage. And then once the time runs out, then it goes away. It's kind of like that. So
I want to be clear. Something that I'm excited about is you don't have to use the full clip. So like you can use half the clip when you're carrying it, and then put it behind your back and run with your regular gun, and then re-pull out Sheila for like a close quarters fight. So until you use that whole first magazine, like that's just like, and then after that you can still put it down and be stationary, and she still does her regular thing with the reload. Like I'm ready, Calvin. I actually really like this. I really like this.
It's gonna be dope, and so hopefully we see a large increase in Rampart, because Rampart's fun, especially with the new LMG meta. Rampart's dope. So other characters are getting some different things. Revenant is getting a visual effect similar to the pulse on Loba's ultimate. So when you throw down Loba's shop and it shows that big boom and everybody can see that you planted the shop, that's what's going to happen with the totem now. You throw a totem down, it's going to go boom, and everyone's going to see that you placed a totem nearby. So don't be mad if your Revtane combo is not going to be as effective as it used to be. Speaking of Revtane, Octane is also getting a change. They are reducing the jump pad horizontal distance by 10 to 15%. So what this means is when you slide into it and you fly, it's not going to go as far. So I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. Maybe you just won't fly obviously you're not going to fly as far, but I think it'll be negligible. They're also reducing the rate of Octane stim regen from 1.5 to 1 HP a second. How do you feel about that, Joel?
Oh, I don't even know why you're fucking asking me. I love the jump pad nerf. I actually don't like that.
Oh,
because if you look at, so like, Pathfinder zip lines, which by the way should still be able to be destroyed by other players, but that's not the point.
Right.
So like every character, like Valkyrie just goes up, Horizon just goes up, Pathfinder goes very far long,
Yeah.
You know, Wraith is basically like you move from cover to cover without being able to be shot because the portal, you know, you go in one end out the other. You know, so every movement character has like a clear path, a clear like this is how they operate. This is the movement you're going to get out of it. Octane's prior to the buff, you know, like you said, the flight path was very predictable.
Yeah.
And there was also some times where it didn't help. You know, and right now, you'd be surprised the amount of times in fights. I mean, we've had it happen to us when we play together, Calvin.
Right.
Where someone doesn't hit the pad when they're not crouched.
Right.
And it either launches them the long way or they're just super curved up in the air.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, so I actually think that because, you know, on the note of like Revtane, I love it. But on the note of someone who always has we almost always have an Octane on our team. Most of our friends, somebody always plays Octane, whether it's you, Colton, Dan, Muffin, fuck you, Muffin, you know, like anybody, you know what I mean? Like there's almost always an Octane on the team.
True.
And so like, I think this will hurt in that regard. You know what I mean? The escapability, because I feel like the higher, the being able to fly farther is what makes you harder to hit in the air, not the distance, the height you go.
Right, that's true.
Because I mean, we've all done it where we fucking snipe people off the fly zip lines and shoot people out of the air. Like it's not hard. But the distance that it trajects you is what makes it the fight's challenging.
So then that is a good thing then, because
yes and no.
Well, it's a good thing because with Octane being the highest picked character in the game, and then how all the sweaty people like to pick Octane, you'd be able to kill more Octanes.
True.
Oh, and they won't be able to run away so fucking quickly. You know what I'm saying?
So that I like. You know, I think the other thing you have to keep in mind, Calvin, is one of the reasons I love doing the show with you is you're an aggressive, offensive-minded person. I'm defensive-minded. So from a defensive standpoint, you can't escape as well. Right. But in an offensive point of view, you're correct. It makes it better. The main thing I'm excited about is that damn stem. I still think he needs a big, you know, I am going to die on the hill that he should have less accuracy when he stems. Because, you know, the whole reason they changed Horizon was her ability to shoot well in the air and do things on the grav lift. You know, Val can't even pull out a gun when she's flying. Right. You know what I mean? It's so hard to hit anything with how fast you move on a Pathfinder zip line. When you're in a Wraith portal, you can't shoot at all. You know what I mean? So there's so many little things here that I think are unbalanced with Octane. So I think him recovering he recovers less health than he won't he can't just stem because it will actually catch up to you much quicker now. Right.
And it actually, this is probably a shadow buff to Wattson, because when they gave Wattson her shield regen, it was one shield point per second, right? And you're like, it's very negligible, like no one really cares about it. Yeah. But now Octane's health regen is down to what Wattson is now. So you know what's better.
Octane's is still less because Wattson's is still only half a tick and Octane's is a full tick.
Oh, wait, I thought Wattson's was 1 tick a second.
No, it's half a tick. That's why I was saying last episode it could use a little bit of a buff because it doesn't it takes so long. Yeah.
But Steven, then still maybe it's still a shadow buff. You know, who knows?
Fair. But end of the day, I like this change to Octane. He is picked too much. All the different combinations you can use with Octane. Like, dude, I have become very good at flying through the air and perfectly landing the caustic ultimate on someone from the Octane jump pad. You know what I mean? So, end of the day, I think it's a good change.
And then Bloodhound, when Bloodhound pings a clue, like footsteps on the floor or like there's a dead body somewhere, everyone on the team gets to see how long ago the event took place. So Bloodhound used to be able to see this took place 60 seconds ago, blah, 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 or 45 seconds ago. Or like if you're following someone, this took place 15 seconds ago. Like now the whole team gets to see it. So if you're playing with randoms who don't communicate well, now you don't have to communicate because Bloodhound just tells you automatically.
Yeah, so I don't know if they changed the voice line, but it'll be up, up on your feed on the right. It'll at least tell you there.
Yes,
I would assume that the voice line would also go along with it, but we'll see what happens.
Who knows? And then we have a couple of weapon updates. The bow check bow, the draw speed is slightly reduced from 0.56 to 0.54. So it's going to pull just a little bit faster, negligible, but maybe in the long term better. And then they increased the amount of arrows that you can hold in your inventory and pick up. The Hemlock got a buff. They reduced the hip fire spread, and the hip fire resets slightly faster. So back before the nerf, the Hemlock was a terrorizer with its hip fire shooting, and they're saying that now the weapon has been on a steady decline in use. They're bringing it back, so I'm sure you're happy about this, Joel.
Yep. No, I'm definitely Team Hemlock these days, especially in arena. It's either that or the Prowler, depending on the map. And if I know the team pushes, I go Prowler. If they want to be the long range snipey boys, nothing's more rewarding than a good Hemlock shred to the face.
Agreed. And then they did a couple shatter cap updates for the bow check bow and the 30-30 repeater. For the bow, they are increasing the damage on the shatter caps between the different types of draws that you can have on the bow. And they're also increasing the strafe speed on the 30-30 so that you can strafe a little bit faster with it. And then the charged pellet damage multiplier has been increased from 35% to 50%. So that's pretty huge. That's a huge damage buff for the shatter caps. And to be honest, Joel, I don't use shatter caps. Like if I see him and I'm using the bow or the 30-30, I put it on, but I don't use it.
So I feel like it's the least found hop up. I feel like right now the boosted loader and Deadeye's tempo are everywhere, and then you're gonna find a turbocharger before you find the shatter caps. Like, remember when it came out, Calvin? You and I went to the firing range and we tested it. Yeah, and shatter caps was, but even post nerf is still, there's no point in doing it. So I think this is an interesting idea. The fact that you can strafe with it better. And it has a higher charge multiplier. I think what they're trying to do is make the 30-30 with the shatter caps the new Mastiff, especially with you being able to strafe with it better. You know what I mean? I think that's going to come in crucial for those close range. You're fighting in Hammond Labs or PS5, whichever you want to call it. Like I think it's going to come in real crucial. Like especially, dude, if you get, we all know that we're tired of the 30-30 off the rip. You know what I mean? But if you're able to get it off the rip with the shatter caps now, oh, dude, and it's a close engagement. I think this will bring an interesting close range balance to the game.
I hope it does. I actually stand the 30-30. I think it's a good gun, and you can actually do a lot of damage very quick with it. Surprisingly, and I don't think people expect it. So hopefully this helps it out.
Well, I think it's really going to help the PC players because
I agree.
I think mouse and key people, like whenever I'm doing cross-plot lobbies, I'm just getting zoinked in like 3 headshots in a row by the fucking 30-30. And I'm like,
it rips.
I'm like, I know that ain't no console player. Like,
right. No, it rips. And so this is probably the biggest one for weapons wise. And everyone's going to love this one. They are nerfing the L-Star. The cool off time is slightly increased. So it's going to take longer. If you shoot a full burst, it's going to take longer for it to cool down so you can start shooting again. The overheat lens replacement time is slightly increased. So like when it overheats and you quote unquote reload it, that's going to take a little bit longer. And then they actually reduce the number of rounds it takes to overheat. So if you didn't know, there was a set number of rounds. It was almost like an ammo clip. In the L-Star before it overheated, there is about a two round decrease across the board on all magazine types that you have, and they increased the base price of it in arenas. So now you cannot buy it first round. It has gone from 500 to 600. So you cannot buy it first round arenas anymore. And then they decreased to compensate for that. They decreased the upgrades to it. So it cost. So now it's going to cost $250 to upgrade it to blue and $350 to upgrade it to purple. And it's because the L-Star is a terrorizer. It is everywhere, and everybody uses it. And it's funny because every time we play arenas and then the enemy team kills you with L-Stars, what does everybody say? They go, "Oh, they pulled out fucking L-Stars." You know what I mean? Like everybody says it. And so I think it's still going to rip because they didn't touch the damage.
Oh, yeah.
It's still going to rip. It's still going to be incredibly accurate. But just not as fast.
Mm-hmm. I think, well, and you know what, Calvin, when I was playing with the guys last night, I actually had an interesting thought process. I think the reason the cooldown time is getting decreased or increased or whatever, however you want to describe it, getting changed is, I think, I'm going to call the devs out right now. I think they got caught slipping.
Oh.
What is Rampart's passive?
Rampart's passive is a fast LMG reload, and for the L-Star,
less time to overheat.
Right.
So mags were basically already useless to Rampart with the changes. In theory, obviously, I didn't test any of the numbers. You know what I mean? Yeah, because that's what the thing is now. The bigger mags, you can shoot more bullets before the gun overheats, right?
Mm-hmm. But
then that was already Rampart's passive. It's just like they got rid of Gibby and Lifeline having quick healing and stuff. You know what I mean? So like,
so I get what you're saying, but Rampart is still going to have the advantage over other legends with the higher tier magazines.
Well, especially now, and that's my point. Is like I think this was maybe inadvertently done because they want to make sure Rampart has as good a buff as possible, as well as the fact that everyone is complaining about the L-Star. But I've been using the L-Star lately, not as much as everyone, but I think this is a fair change.
I think it's fair.
Especially from, like you said, nothing's as worse as going into arenas and first round you get killed by either triple L-Stars or triple bows. Like that's
so annoying, dude.
I'll take the leaving penalty, bro. I'll take it, dude. So
annoying, dude. And then they did a shotgun update, which I think is kind of controversial for PexPals specifically. They did it. It affects the EVA 8 and the Mozambique. The EVA 8 and the BEEK headshot damage multiplier reduced from 1.5 to 1.25, bringing them in line with the Peacekeeper and the Mastiff. I don't know how I feel about this. For the EVA, maybe. I think maybe the EVA, that's fine. But for the BEEK?
Yeah, that's straight disrespect.
It's straight disrespectful because there is no way outside of arenas, there's no way the Mozambique gets gameplay. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm going to do, Calvin? I'm going to go to the patch notes and I'm going to screenshot that line about the BEEK. I'm going to put it on our Twitter, which is just at PexPals Podcast. Yes. And I am going to screenshot that and I'm going to put it on the Twitter and I'm going to say hashtag save the BEEK because that is bullshit. So if you're listening and you're a BEEK user, go find that tweet because it will be up soon.
Yes.
And do that. Retweet that shit. Let the devs know. We will not stand. I personally will not stand for BEEK abuse and Wattson abuse. But for now, the focus is the BEEK abuse.
And so the rationale that they give is they want to normalize the Mozambique for consistency with the shotgun classes, which doesn't make any sense because the Mozambique is the sidearm. It's not a shotgun. It's the sidearm, number one. And then they want to make the P2020 the precision early game gun, but no one picks up if they can help it. No one's going to pick up the BEEK and the P2020 in the beginning of the game. Nobody. People will pick up the bow before they pick up one of those two guns. Like even though the bow is probably the worst gun you can pick up in close range on the jump, like they're going to pick up that over the P2020. So trying to like boost, all right, because this is another like shadow thing where they're trying to boost numbers of something that doesn't get, because the P2020 is probably the least used gun in the game.
Yeah, ever since they fucked with our fire rate, dude. If they had left the fire rate,
not even that. If even if they reduced the fire rate, but they kept hammer points, I would still be. I don't use the P2020 anymore. I don't use it.
No,
I don't use it.
I don't either. It's because of that. And then when I do pick it up, you notice the fire rate change, especially if you're trying to hip fire. It's like that used to be. I mean, you and I both used to clutch a lot of games with the P2020 with or without hammer points as the sidearm because the hip fire was just so silly good.
Yeah.
And now it's like they nerfed the hip fire rate. So what's the point?
What's the point? There's no point.
Just peek it out.
It is shit damage, and it shoots slower than it used to. So whatever. And then the last weapon update is the triple take. They decreased the charge time while you're ADSing from 1 second to 0.8 seconds, which is a huge buff because now you're going to get blasted in the face with the triple take all the goddamn time. And then really quick, they did some quality of life updates. They shortened the out of bounds timer from 30 seconds to 15 seconds. You can now swap from red armor to gold armor without having to do some long press and get yourself killed in the middle of a fight. Evil shields inside the death boxes show how much health is on them so that now you don't have to wait for the little pop-up to come up. You can just switch.
That, I think, is the number one quality of life improvement we've got in a long time.
I think that's pretty good. I think it's really good.
For all, it doesn't matter if you're on PC or console. I think that's a great thing.
I think it's a good thing too. Early leaver warning has been improved to help people from accidentally leaving before their party is dead. So now you now need to hold the confirm button down for a small amount of time. The highlighting is different color than other prompts to catch your attention. Red text warning showing you're leaving early penalty added. So that's if you leave a ranked game, and I think it's basic arenas now too. You get a leaving.
It's ranked arenas and basic arenas, yes.
And basic arenas. So they made it so that you don't accidentally leave, and to make sure that you actually really want to have that penalty applied to your thing. And then the last notable thing that wasn't just a necessarily bug fix, when you get scanned by Seer, Bloodhound, or Crypto, a little thing pops up that says sonar detected, right? But now they put a little moniker there, a little character there to show you by whomst. So you get scanned by something, it'll say you've been scanned by Bloodhound, you've been scanned by Seer, you've been scanned by Crypto. So now you know who is pushing you.
Again, I guarantee you that's a foreshadowing for a crypto change. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's I think they're going to keep shafting Wattson, and I think next season we're going to get a big old crypto buff.
Yeah. Okay. So we've gone through all the patch notes and so that's all that's coming out. And I think based on the actions that they took for this new event, right? And by surprising us with the Rampart buff and heirloom, it seems like the next thing that they're going to do is focus on characters that just don't get love, regardless of how long they've been in the game or whatever. And it's like you said, Crypto has been a constant point of attention because he has been low picked. And so that was a really good thing, having Cryptos like doing something like that even involves Crypto. Maybe might seem that Crypto could be getting some type of attention very soon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially you're seeing a lot less Seers after the changes too.
Right.
So I'm seeing a little bit more Bloodhounds lately again, I feel like. So I think he's overdue. Something interesting, Calvin, one of the devs tweeted from all these notes, and if you watch the video and pause on the arena sections, so as you mentioned, we're getting gold guns in the arenas. Those are the tweaked Rampart weapons you mentioned. Some people noticed that there is a new space in the energy category. It looks like the rumored energy burst AR is finally coming, and the coding is in the game, but the gun is not coming this update.
Right.
One of the devs even said, we leaked an image confirming a new gun and it wasn't supposed to be there. I need to get my eyes checked before I approve the next video. Right. So this is not just some internet rumor. There is some sort of new energy weapon coming. We just don't know. Whereas everyone's assuming it's the burst, but we don't know. For all we know, we're gonna get an energy sidearm, which would be fucking ludicrous. Like I would love that. Like a little. Well, I shouldn't say a Glock because that's basically the RE45, but you know what I mean.
Right.
So
that would be actually pretty cool. I would actually be very interested in to see what that does.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too.
You know what would be actually pretty cool? Like a sidearm charge rifle.
Ooh.
Like a sidearm that you have to like load up, like boom, boom. Like
The other thing I wouldn't mind is like, I know I'm probably someday going to regret this, but if we had like an energy melee weapon, like I think that could be a really cool way to bring back the close quarters combat, to bring back the defense. Like, because imagine you having like an energy sword of some sort, and you're caustic, and a whole team rushes you. You have your gas going off, and you just energy sword two of the people right away when they rush. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it only has a few charges or something. You know?
Yeah,
but
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, like, and I think that's the other thing. I'm happy about Rampart getting a buff because it brings a full focus to a defensive character that's not caustic for once.
True.
So maybe that means, hey, we acknowledge there are people that like to play the game with these types of characters.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
So maybe that I consider it a good thing for the future of Wattson.
Audience members, people listening in, what do you think is going to happen in the coming future of Apex Legends? Joel and I are actually very curious to hear your opinions and your thoughts and your comments about the latest patch notes, about what's going on in the game, and how you think the game is going. And there's many ways for you to get in contact with us. Check us out on all the social medias: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Check us out at PexPals Podcast. You can also check myself and Joel out independently. JoelCupcake everywhere. Check me out,
baby.
Worldwide. Check me out, CowVan on Twitch and on TikTok. I'm CowVan Man on Twitter. Reach out to us. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think. If email is more your gig, if you have a big old post that you want to write and complain about, specifically JoelCupcake, email us at pexpalspodcast@gmail.com. We are very responsive, and also check us out on YouTube. I forgot to mention YouTube. We're very responsive on YouTube as well. We post the videos of our podcast on YouTube. So check us out, PexPals Podcast on YouTube. Watch the video, comment, like, subscribe.
Yeah. On that note, I my shirt's on backwards. It has been the whole episode.
I didn't even realize. But you know what?
You know what the worst part is? That I didn't realize, and I'm the one where. Oh, Jesus. Yes, everybody, do what Calvin just said.
Yeah, do all that.
Follow, like, listen, support, review, hate on me, everywhere. Please. Worldwide.
This has been episode 24 of PexPals. And before we sign off, Joel, what are we signing off with?
You know what, Calvin? Because out of respect for our child that they're hurting, we're ending it. Beak, 6 feet deep.